Bishop Mitchell Rosansky invites all parishioners in the Diocese of Springfield to Camp Holy Cross in Goshen for a pilgrimage day celebrating the Jubilee Year of Mercy. On Saturday, September 10th, come to Camp Holy Cross for an uplifting day, guest speakers for all ages, an opportunity to pass through a holy door, confession, adoration, crafts for kids, and a festive liturgy. The day is free and open to all. Register online through a link on iobserve.org.
Coming up on this best of edition of Reel to Reel from Camp Holy Cross in Goshen.
I'm John Thornton. Tonight I'll have the story of Pope Francis High School's record-setting baseball team.
And a look back at several of our best stories from the past year. These stories and more are just ahead on this edition of Reel to Reel.
Here is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
Hello and welcome to Reel from Camp Holy Cross in Goshen. Nestled on 250 acres of pristine land, Camp Holy Cross has been a part of the Diocese of Springfield since 1930, and it is here that the diocese will host a pilgrimage day for the Jubilee Year of Mercy coming up this September 10th. Well, over the past 2 decades, the Catholic Church has renewed its commitment to minister to young people. Youth ministry is much more than just programs. The vision of youth ministry defined by the bishops is much broader in scope than any previous model and may require a new way of thinking and ministering to youth. Gina Serwinski was named Director of Youth Ministry for the Diocese of Springfield last summer when we first brought you this story about her appointment. Since late summer, Serwinski has been working with the bishop and parishes in the diocese, developing a mission, assessing needs.
The biggest need right now is for support for youth ministry. Those who are in the field, that are in the parishes, that are working as catechists or religious educators or as youth ministers, really just need to be supported and know that what they're doing, is important and it's making a difference.
Not every parish in the diocese has a youth minister, says Serwinski, with an official title, that is. But she says many are doing the job.
Every parish needs to see that people working with youth are youth ministers. Not necessarily one person is a youth minister, but that catechists, people working with youth, are youth ministers, that the pastor is a youth minister, that the religious educators are youth ministers.
Serwinski previously worked in fundraising and development for the American Red Cross in Springfield, as director of CYO in Northern Rhode Island, and as a retreat coordinator of the National Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows in Belleville, Illinois. She currently lives in Southbridge with her husband and is a parishioner of St. John Paul II Parish there. She holds a bachelor's degree in theology with a concentration in religious education from the Franciscan University of Steubenville. She says it's her goal to pull out the gifts and talents of young people and involve them in the work of the church.
Young people are not the church of tomorrow, they are the church of today. They are active members of the church, and we need to recognize that.
Serwinski says it all begins on the parish level with religious education. She will be working with religious educators to see what programs they are offering for our young people.
What experiences are they getting the youth involved in? Are they welcoming the youth into the parish to be part of that faith community? Are they seeing that that is important? We keep saying it is, but if you go out to a parish, is the parish really inviting those youth?
She encourages parishes to invite young people to use their talents on the parish level. On the diocesan level, she says young people will be invited to attend the annual March for Life in January in Washington, D.C., as well as a 10-day pilgrimage with Bishop Rosansky to World Youth Day in Poland next July.
If we can get the parishes themselves working on this and talking about these issues around youth and young adults, in the long run, that's going to be better for the life of the parish.
Nearly 100 Boy and Girl Scouts from parishes in western Massachusetts spent their annual retreat weekend getting in touch with nature and celebrating their faith right here at Camp Holy Cross in Goshen last October. Faith and family was the theme for this year's event. David Martin tells us more.
Boy and Girl Scouts from the Springfield Diocese were anxious to participate in fun activities with fellow Scouts while learning about religious education during the annual Scouting retreat at Camp Holy Cross in Goshen. The first full day began with a talk given by visiting priest Yerrick Mendez about this year's theme, Faith and Family. Father Yerrick told the Scouts that religious beliefs develop within the family first, with the parents passing their knowledge and love of God to their children. They in turn utilize that love for God to become a family within their church and spread it further through love for neighbor. Father Yerrick hopes Scouts will take the opportunity to further consider thoughts about faith and share them with their own families and scouting groups.
So that it becomes as natural to these Scouts as going out and setting up a tent or building a fire or tying a knot, that prayer and faith becomes just part of the daily fabric of their life, because as human beings, our spiritual side is a part of our daily life.
Scouts then divided up and traveled to various sections of the camp for different activities led by core group members. Path to God, for example, involves Scouts making their way through an obstacle course at the athletic field while answering questions about religion.
The Scouts learned the importance of demonstrating their faith by rotating from activity to activity, learning the importance of working well with other Scouts.
After a 30-minute period, Scouts were signaled to rotate to the next activity by a Scout leader striking a bell at the chapel. Father Eugene Plass, chaplain of Scouts for the Springfield Diocese, said he was excited to see how the rest of the day turned out and would be with the Scouts every step of the way.
I think they'll just get along very well, and that's important for them to have some glowing thing to remember and come back to, that they can come into a Scout retreat, and even if they haven't been practicing their faith very much, they can get re-enlivened and pulled together.
One activity, titled Not About Bunnies, took place at the pavilion. In going along with this year's theme, Scouts conversed about the many holidays which they spend with family. The topic of discussion led to Holy Week and the important days that marked this Lenten period. Scouts were then asked to create origami butterflies. Corps member and Star Scout Isabella Ferraro said butterflies indicate new life and is an alternate symbol of the Easter holiday instead of the Easter bunny and colored eggs. The butterflies were then placed on a wreath shaped as a cross. Isabella liked the idea of Scouts rotating from activity to activity.
I think it's good. They mix up the group so they're not necessarily with others from their troop, so they get a chance to meet new people and put themselves out there more. The rotations are good, so it's different variations of activities. Some are more sit down and kind of talk and reflect on our faith, while others are focused on physical activity and get them more pumped up and excited to learn more while still learning about the faith.
Throughout the retreat, Corps members also performed various skits with their fellow Scouts.
Praise the Lord! God, I need food!
It's just loads of fun. You get to hang out with them, play games, just camp out, just enjoy each other's company. Also learn more about your faith.
Christian Pierce, a Star Scout and Corps group member, said the skits encourage Scouts to learn because they are more entertaining than in a school setting. He was looking forward to experiencing the other events taking place this weekend. For Reel to Reel, I'm David Martin.
Later in the day, the Scouts hiked into the woods where they ate lunch and they prayed the rosary that evening in the chapel. Sounds like it was a great day. Much more is still to come on this summer edition of Reel to Reel. Addressing food insecurity on a college campus. And it was a banner year for the new Pope Francis High School baseball team. These stories and more are still to come on this edition of Reel to Reel from Camp Holy Cross in Goshen.
Here I am, Lord.
The Chapels of Salvation, your spiritual connection. I'm Brother Terrence Scanlon, inviting you to join us this Sunday at the early hour of 6:30 a.m. for your Chalice program. We'll welcome Father John Schaefer from St. Mary, Mother of the Church Parish as our Mass presider and celebrate the 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time. The Chapels of Salvation, this Sunday morning at 6:30, right here on 22 News.
Through your generosity, the annual Catholic Appeal continues to serve our community.
I'm Judy Williams. At New Direction, we offer peer counseling, educational support, free pregnancy tests, limited ultrasound, as well as baby clothes, diapers, formula, and more, all made possible by the annual Catholic Appeal.
The Annual Catholic Appeal, assisting our neighbors here in Western Massachusetts. Visit diospringfield.org and make your donation today. Thank you for your support.
Juggling classes and study time, college campuses are filled with students hungry to learn. But for some, the hunger is real. A growing number of college students face food insecurity every day. As Kathy Harrington reports in this story that we first brought to you in April, on the campus of Westfield State University, the interfaith community is tackling this hidden hunger.
I experienced food insecurity myself because I grew up as a foster youth.
Marjorie Rodriguez graduates from the Masters in Social Work program next month, but she's already making a difference in the lives of others.
There's a lot of stigma about food insecurity, so part of my mission was just to break those stigma and fears. And when I came to Westfield State, I know that there were other students that were struggling just like I did, and I wanted to change that for others. So it was my time to give back to the community. So I decided to advocate and change the outcome for some other students.
Researching the need for a campus food pantry, the Westfield State University Interfaith Center Chaplains Council canvassed students, then set out to make it happen. Father Warren Savage says one of the council's main goals is to feed the hungry and serve the poor.
Based on the response, there's always been an issue, but it's coming more to light. Since the numbers of students that have this need are increasing, a lot of homeless students are on campus, students who have perhaps been in the chronic need for food are now also on campus, students who are coming from poor families continue to have food issues on campus. So this is an increasing need that we're trying to respond to.
Located next to the campus is the Second Congregational Church. The pastor asked her members for space to house the pantry.
We have been working with the downtown food pantry for a number of years, so this was just a further extension of our caring for the hungry.
Working with the church leaders, space was found. A former religious education classroom was transformed into the food pantry, thanks to the Westfield State Foundation.
We felt that this is a great fit. So everyone's working together around a common focus, feeding needy students, servicing those students that have food insecurity issues, and making every available resource on this campus and beyond to meet that particular need.
The food pantry's main entrance is located on the east side of the church, a short walk from the Westfield State University main campus. It provides a measure of privacy to its users.
Because we want people to know that there's a place where they can go. They don't have to be afraid. They're not going to be judged by anything or questioned about anything. They can just come and help themselves and not go hungry to classes or school.
So when a student comes in, we basically welcome them in, don't ask many questions, and move out of the way.
Kristen Hines says students are encouraged to come and take what they need. The shelves are labeled and well organized. There's also a section for personal care products.
People that are in need will spend the money on what's absolutely necessary. And we have students that in many cases are deciding between meals and bus fare or transportation. So being able to offer the necessities of life, I mean, these are just necessities of life that we all need. So to be able to bring in anything that the students might be able to take advantage of is what we're trying to accomplish.
The key to its success is getting the word out that Common Goods is open and available.
We're really trying at this point to do a lot of outreach to educate the community on how simple it is to use the pantry, how available it is to students, the need to not relate so much eligibility requirements. If a student is in need, they are then eligible to use it.
Celeste Donovan works on the front lines in student support services. She says the media, posters, flyers, and social media, and word of mouth are integral to the pantry's success.
We're very excited. This is a grassroots movement. It is a work in progress, and we're really trying to be receptive in this opening of the pantry to be hearing the student needs and responsive to student needs, and we're going to let this develop in any way that it needs to develop to best serve our community.
For Reel to Reel, I'm Kathy Harrington.
Well, this summer, the busy work of bringing together Cathedral and Holyoke Catholic high schools to form the new Pope Francis High School is in high gear. But that effort got a jump start last school year when the schools came together for athletics. And much success came from that effort, including this past spring on the baseball diamond. John Thornton tells us more now about the banner season of the Pope Francis Cardinals.
This past year, Holyoke Catholic High School and Cathedral High School merged their athletic programs. This was done to prepare student athletes for the future merger of the two schools, which will take place next fall. The teams each received new players, new uniforms, and a new name, the Pope Francis High School Cardinals. Kevin Murphy, a junior at Cathedral High School, described how he and his teammates felt about the merge.
Oh, the merger's been unbelievable. I think all the guys have gelled together great. At the beginning of the year, we thought it was going to be difficult, but everybody has just come together, and we're a team now. We're more like a family, to be honest.
The merge proved to be amazing for the boys' baseball team under the direction of Coach Pat Moriarty. They finished first in their division with a record of 17-3. Towards the end of the season, they were honored with an invitation to play in the Massachusetts Super 8 tournament. The tournament is made up of the 8 best baseball teams in the state. Pope Francis High School set a record as the first boys' baseball team from Western Massachusetts to ever be invited to the tournament. Holyoke Catholic High School junior Cameron Nemick explained what being invited to the tournament meant to the team.
It's an honor to be asked to play a Super 8, a first Western Mass team, so it's good to represent not only Holyoke Catholic and Cathedral and the new Pope Francis High School, but also Western Mass. So it's a very exciting opportunity.
Pope Francis High School boys baseball is headed for the playoffs. I spoke to Coach Pat Moriarty about their playoff chances and the future of the team.
Well, we're really excited to be representing not only Pope Francis High School, but all of Western Mass baseball in the Super 8. But we're really not going to change a thing. We're going to continue to play the way that we've been playing, which is basically respecting the game of baseball, playing hard, and playing till the end.
While the players owe a lot of their success to Coach Moriarty, many claim that their success came from the strength of their faith. Cameron Nemick explained how faith plays a role on and off the field.
I think it plays a big role. We're two Catholic schools merging to form a new Catholic school, and I think it plays a big part in our game. Before every game, we have a team prayer where we get together and we say the Hail Mary. So I think it's always on some part of our mind during the game and before the game.
Despite their loss to Xavier and Brothers High School in the first round, Coach Moriarty and his boys have a lot to be proud of this season. They will forever hold the record as the first team to represent Western Massachusetts in the state's Super 8 tournament. Good luck to next year's team, and go Cardinals. In Chicopee, I'm John Thornton.
And finally today, a wonderful ministry is taking place right here on the shores of the Upper Highland Reservoir in Goshen. Every year, young people come for one of 2 camp sessions that puts them in touch with God and God's beautiful creation, on display here at Camp Holy Cross.
Camp Holy Cross is a home away from home.
There's just a really profound sense of community, I think, about this place, and a really strong positive energy that keeps me coming back.
This was so intense.
Hundreds of young people come back to Camp Holy Cross each summer.
My gosh.
Camp Holy Cross is all about making new friends.
The diocesan-owned campground is nestled on 250 acres of pristine land on the Upper Highland Reservoir.
It's beautiful out here. This location is so perfect. The lake is just absolutely incredible. The waterfront, we have amazing lifeguards, and so whenever we go kayaking or canoeing, it's so peaceful. And then we go to the field, we play some soccer, we play some frisbee. There's the gym, if you're not a nature person, but it's beautiful out here. I don't know why you wouldn't like nature.
At this summer camp, young people develop independence, self-esteem, and lifelong friendships. There's a wide variety of activities from creative arts, sports, outdoor adventure, and waterfront, all while developing their spirituality.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
Camp Holy Cross is a faith-filled environment.
The camp's executive director, Father Chris Malatesta, says the campers come from all over the Diocese of Springfield, as well as out of state, and even occasionally from out of the country.
They come from all over the place. We advertise through all our parishes in the diocese. So they come from Springfield, Holyoke, Westfield, Pittsfield, Dalton, all of the different towns of our diocese. They're from all over the place. We have about 110 kids here right now. And some of the camps have as many as 150 kids in a particular session. So they come from all over the diocese, and then kind of word spreads. Sometimes we even get people from out of state, and since I've been up here, we've even had people from out of country. Last year we had 2 girls from Japan that happened to be in Western Massachusetts for part of the summer, and their grandparents signed them up for our camp.
Wow, that's awesome. With 16 cabins, 2 cottages, a lodge, gymnasium, dining hall, chapel, game room, sports fields, and waterfront with canoes and kayaks, there is something for everyone.
Camp Holy Cross is a place for everyone.
The kids sleep in a cabin group with a counselor and an assistant counselor, so they make a little family group. We typically have them by age group, and they're allowed to request a bunk buddy, like in regards to when they come to camp, if they want to sign up to be with somebody.
Campers Carly Bazanski and Zena Wisnaskis are cabin bunkmates who love coming to this camp each summer. This was Carly's 3rd summer at Camp Holy Cross.
I started Bible camp first, or day camp, and so you see what it's like at first, and then I wanted to sleep over, and I thought it was going to be fun and stuff to do a lot of activities.
And Zena has been a camper each summer for the last 5 years.
It's just really fun. They incorporate prayer with the fun, and so when you do prayer, you don't really realize even that it's relating to God, but we do things that are fun, and it's fun to do prayer, I guess you could say.
For every cup and every plateful.
For every cup and every plateful.
Thank you, Lord, for we are grateful.
Thank you, Lord, for we are grateful.
Amen.
Amen.
There may be something for everyone at this camp, except for one thing: technology. The camp has instituted a no cell phone policy.
We actually collect cell phones as kids come to camp to make camp really an experience of face-to-face friendships with one another, get away from all of the Facebooks and all of those types of things. We do, however, knowing that people rely so much on that communication with home and those types of things, that the kids do have free time after dinner, and we allow them for a small period of time to use those, to check their cell phones out from our facility and to be able to call home and check in with their families.
Father Chris, who is the pastor of St. Agnes Parish in Dalton, has been at the camp since 1994 and its director for 15 years now. He said originally it was owned by Holy Cross Parish in Holyoke and was used by the parish as a summer camp.
And then the diocese turned it into a diocesan camp at the start of it for boys, and it's been part of that. And then back probably about in the 1980s, it turned into a co-ed camp, and then for a number of years was used for group camping, family camping, and then in recent years we've kind of moved our focus back into youth activities and running full summer programs in regards to the kids' camps, but a lot of other groups use us as well, like Marriage Encounter, El Camino, and Encuentro retreats, and so it gets a lot of varied use throughout the entire summer.
The camp is located on one of 2 reservoirs in Goshen.
So there's 2 reservoirs in the town of Goshen, and we're on one of them that were built originally to feed the industrial mills down in Williamsburg. And then many, many years ago, back after the days that the mills were closing and things, the state took them over as recreational waterfronts and then converted them into recreational use.
Father Chris says that camps in general are great for creating future leaders, fostering confidence, and promoting independence.
For some of these kids, it's the first time they're away from their families. So they learn some skills while they're with us, and they learn to be a little bit independent and those types of things. So all camps do that. So camps are important. I think a Catholic camp is important because we explore faith here. And sometimes it's a struggle in religious education programs. It's a struggle for parents to get their kids to come to church on weekends. And we, in a safe environment, bring them together to be able to explore interests with our young, excited counseling staff that's made up of later high school and college students. And they look up to these kids and they say, like, well, if they can go to church and they think that church and faith is really a neat thing, then maybe it is for me too. So these kids really leave with a happy experience at church.
I think I see a lot of kids coming out of their shell from being here, being exposed to new people, being pushed to try new activities, and I think a lot of kids discover things in themselves and about themselves that they didn't know until they came.
And these experiences can be preserved in a way through a current fundraising project the camp is undertaking. In front of the chapel, they are planning to construct a walkway of bricks.
We're going to put a brick walkway in, so we're asking parents to consider putting the name of their child or some kind of memorial or something on that. So we've been selling bricks available on our website, campholycross.org, for people that might choose to want to do that.
And Camp Holy Cross will be hosting the Diocesan Pilgrimage Day for the Jubilee Year of Mercy on September 10th. To register, you can find a link on our website at iobserve.org. You can also look for more information in your parish. You don't want to miss out on this great opportunity with Bishop Mitchell Rosansky on Saturday, September 10th. And for this week, that's Reel to Reel. To keep up to date on all the latest news on the Catholic Church, both here in the Diocese of Springfield and around the world, check out our news and information website, iobserve.org. Also, you can friend us on Facebook. We are at Catholic Communications. And I will see you right back here next week for another edition of Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. See you then.
Reel to Reel is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.
Come one, come all to Six Flags New England in Agawam for Catholic Youth and Family Day 2016. On Tuesday, August 16th, the Diocese of Springfield will host a day-long event open to families and kids of all ages. A discount early admission ticket to the Theme and Water Park includes morning mass with Bishop Mitchell Rosansky, an all-you-can-eat buffet lunch, and parking. Go to iobserve.org and get your tickets today for Catholic Youth and Family Day at Six Flags New England.